Make sure your gate is closed, and off we go. Okay, so we're going to run this on a super premium setting. Super premium means less of an overrun, so it'll give us about 65%. Plus, we're also going to weigh it down with some nuts, some bourbon, some maple. We're going to give it a kick, and we're going to add some jalapeno extract. So it says jalapeno, it doesn't taste like it, it just gives you that heat that you're looking for. And these are also sweet and spicy nuts too, so they're candied pecans. Anybody allergic to nuts? We're good? Awesome. Okay, well actually, let's do this first. Let me get these all in the blender. The Ninja will be your best friend. This is probably going to be one of your biggest investments. I have worked with food processors, little handheld ones, nothing beats the Ninja. It's worth the investment to maybe have 2 or 3, maybe 2 at least, just so you can put nuts in one and then keep one that's not nut-free for your allergen-friendly customers. So that way you don't have to worry about cross-contamination, because it is a thing. There are certain products that can break down amazingly in the machine, and some that struggle a little bit. Things that are firm, like a nut, those won't break down, because as you can see here with the dasher, these blades here, they're pretty bulky, and they'll pulverize almost everything, but it can't chop nuts in half. Mangoes are very hard, they're very firm too, so those would probably need a couple pulses, a little bit of, or a puree if you want to put it in that type of form. Strawberries, if you're going to be doing strawberries that are fresh, which I'm not a fan of. I really like frozen fruits that's been thawed. We'll get into that a little bit later when we work with fruits. So we just kind of pulsed it a little bit. Okay. Oh. Here is the formula. If you want to take one and pass it down. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're going to hit make ice cream, super premium, start. Dasher's running. Oops. Got our nuts in there. Okay. Do we want to do real bourbon or do we want to do artificial bourbon? Bourbon?
Real.
Okay.
Real stuff.
That's it. I like the go big or go home. Okay. So Jeff, you'll see, is pretty famous for letting her run like this for quite a while. She spits if she doesn't have a whole lot of in there. This is a jalapeno extract. smells like jalapenos. So we're gonna go pretty heavy on that because we wanna feel that heat whenever you go to eat it. When you work with alcohols, the higher the proof, the less you can add. The lower the proof, the more you can add. So Malibus, liqueurs, amarettos, coffee liqueurs, anything like that, you can get away with probably almost an entire bottle, if not the whole bottle in a 24 quart. Heavy guys like Jim, Jack, you're gonna probably wanna stay at least about half. So I guess that's the whole thing, right? Okay. We're going to give it a touch of maple syrup. And why not? All right, so I know I added 4 ounces before. And this is how many? 16? I think that's good. And we turn on our refrigeration. The thing when crafting your formulas and recipes is you will always measure out your ingredients. We don't. We have a lot of fun of just showing you how easy it is that you don't have to be precise. You can add too much, too little, and it'll still freeze it. It might be a little on the softer side because we have an alcohol, we have an extract, and then we have our sugar from the candied pecans. I'm gonna pass this around. So this is by Weber Flavors, who you see on that formula on the end. This is the artificial bourbon smell. So if you don't want to use real alcohol, this is a bourbon alternative. It smells identical, and honestly, you can't taste the difference when you use real bourbon in this. And this is the jalapeno extract. You guys can just pass them around and open and smell it. Now, freeze times. Freeze times also are based on your sugar content. More sugar you add, the longer it's going to take to freeze. The alcohols also increase your batch time. So there's no timer, there's no setting of, well, how long does this flavor take or that flavor take? That's on you, the ice cream creator, how much sugar you're going to add to it. So we added candied pecans, we added an extract, we added some maple syrup, and then we added alcohol. So that's sugar, alcohol, alcohol. So the freeze time is going to be pretty high. We're probably going to push around 15 to 18 minutes. Lower sugar content flavors like vanillas, you can get those done in about 9-12 minutes, but the second you start to introduce sugar, like Oreos, candies, pecans, anything that has a sugar content, you're going to increase your batch times. We still got quite a ways for it to come out. I'm going to use a clear tub so you're able to see it better. There's no, yes?
What was the butterfat content you used?
What butterfat content did I use? We use 10% in the South. Down here, it's very hot, it's very humid. Anything higher than that, it's just too heavy for us. We're used to beaches. So the more north you go, the higher butterfat you'll see. You'll start seeing 16, 18%, like in Wisconsin, Massachusetts, that's pretty common. I really don't recommend going any higher butterfat than that. What's gonna happen is you're gonna feel that greasy texture, and it'll leave like a film on the roof of your mouth. It's not very pleasant. Don't forget also, the ability to add inclusions is increasing that fat content. So even though we have a 10%, it's gonna be a very, very good premium product because we're adding fats to it as well. Oreos even, that's a fat. We're gonna be adding Nutella, some peanut butter, so it's gonna turn that 10% and make it a very, very, very rich ice cream. Take that with a 16%, it's gonna be very greasy feeling. So I tend to, with Emery Thompson's, to kind of try to stay between 10 to 14 if you can. A big thing too is about extractions. So there's no right or wrong on when you want to pull your product. So it really depends on you and the consistency and how you want to. We're not anywhere close, but when we do get closer to being pulled out, we do what we call a cutoff check. When you open and close the gate real fast and let the ice cream cut off. The kind of puddles down or piddles, it's not ready, it's too thin. Cut it off and it kind of like plops down into the pan or your container, that's when we know we're ready to pull. The thicker you pull this product, the more chance you have of leaving product in your machine. So it's gonna get really thick, so it's gonna start sticking to your blades, to your springs. That's a very common thing. You're wanting to pull it very thick because it's just a natural thing for you to do. But don't forget, it's a 3-step process by the time you make it so you can scoop it to your customers. So you don't need it that thick because you're not scooping it to your customers. We're gonna pull it a little thicker because we wanna scoop it and just show you guys so you can taste it. But when we hit probably about 10 more minutes, we'll do a cutoff check and see where it's at. Again, no right or wrong. You're the ice cream maker, so it's your preference. Also pulling it a little on the thinner side, you'll fill up your container a lot more evenly. So instead of it thick and you're trying to pack it down, you want to pull it thinner so it'll fill it up and there's no air pockets. Any questions on that?
So when you pack it down, do you use air in there?
There's air because it's too thick. They always say never poke the ice cream and never pack the ice cream. I poke it because I fold stuff sometimes, but there's nobody that's going to come back and say, wow, your ice cream's awful because you poked it or because you smacked it. Come back, yes?
And does it matter if how thick or how thin it is when you take it out? Will that affect the quality at all?
Will it affect the quality on the thickness or thin, or how thick or thin you extract it at? No. So temperature, some will come and say, well, you gauge your temperature on it, and we don't. Sugars and alcohols alter the temperature time, so it doesn't matter what flavor it is. If you're pulling it super thin and it's gauging at 18 degrees and this one's extremely thick and it's 6 degrees because it doesn't have any high sugar or sugar content in it, right? Quality is still going to be there. It's the freezing process and how fast you freeze it down is what affects your quality. So ice cream is molecules, right? Comes out of the machine and we need to freeze it fast. Because what happens is the warmer the ice cream gets, the molecules are expanding. We want to stop that process as fast as we can. So chest freezers work. The hardening cabinets like you see in the back corner are much better. There's very large ones, there's small ones. Jeff uses chest freezers. There's a difference with Jeff, and I'll explain that. Jeff uses chest freezers, but he also uses these. It doesn't take very long for the chest freezer to freeze this container. And this is what he scoops out of. This is what he serves out of. So he has a flavor board, and tons of customers do too. They have a flavor board, so they come in, they pick their flavor, they go to the chest freezer, they pull it out, they scoop what they want, put the lid back on it, put it back, come back to the customer and serve it to them. Most of the customers, which you guys would probably do, everybody want to do this method? A good chunk? No? None? Yes? Okay. We'll be in this. That's really hard for a chest freezer to freeze this down fast. You'll notice if it doesn't freeze down fast enough, this half of your ice cream tub is going to be very fluffy, very airy. It's because it got warm. That's that ice cream expanding. The bottom half of your tub will be nice and hard and firm because it stayed protected. It was nice and cold down at the bottom. If you do chest freezer methods, as long as you rotate and don't open and close, you'll be fine. Tons and tons and tons of people do it this way. Chest freezers are great. If you have the ability to do a hardening cabinet, I recommend that instead.
How about a standing commercial?
I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
A standing commercial. Kind of a combination of these two. So
As long as it's 10 below is the magic number. Anything by that temp, you'll be okay.
does it make a difference if you're only if you got the 30, not the 24, but you got a smaller.
Say that again?
35. So the 350, which only makes half of one of those 3-gallon, 2.5-gallon tubs, you probably notice less of a difference if you're using the chest freezer?
Not necessarily, because they'll freeze. I should just leave this out. Because what you'll do is you'll fill up half of this tub, stick it in the freezer, make the next batch of the same one, pull it back out, fill it up the rest of the way, put the lid on it, and stick it back in the freezer. So it still can. I haven't heard and I haven't experienced that. I just know that can happen, and it has happened. It's another thing too. I'll show you actually. I'll come up there though. This is an Italian ice. We all saw my Facebook video probably of me making apple pie, ice cream, and angry cider. See how it's dark down here? This is Italian ice. If you don't freeze this fast enough, this is what's going to happen. This was put directly from machine to chest freezer. In a matter of minutes, this started to happen. So that's what's going to happen to your ices if you don't use a stabilizer. I don't like stabilizers. If you can freeze this fast enough, you won't need to worry about it. It also has Fireball, so that kind of helped the separation process. A lot of Fireball. But you will notice this exactly happening in about 3 to 5 days. So using a stabilizer will prevent this, but that's only if you want to keep your product for months, weeks at a time. If you plan on pushing it out 3 to 5 days, then you don't need one. And ice cream too, it won't sink like this at all, but that's what happens if you don't freeze something down fast enough.
Stabilizers are something you add to the product while it's being made?
Yes, so that is, I'll pass this around for you guys too. There's a couple companies out there. Stabilize by iRice is a very popular one. It definitely is noticeable in your product difference when using it versus not using it. This will scoop in a cup and sit there for like an hour and not even melt. It's very sticky, it's very gummy, but it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's stabilizing your product and making it scoopable. It can help with your temperatures and then also last a lot longer.
Does it change the taste of the ice cream?
Not the taste, but the texture. I'm gonna put this back. So I can hear the machine starting to get thick there.
Does that make a difference between a really good ice cream and like a regular ice cream?
Say that again?
Does that make a difference of a really good ice cream or a okay ice cream by adding this product?
You don't need stabilizers for ice cream because that bladder has stabilizers in it already. This would just be something for ices. So we're pushing 12 minutes, so we're gonna do a cutoff check and see where we're at. I'm gonna pull that. That looks pretty darn good to me. But I'm gonna pack it, here we are, in these, so we can give them away. And then I'll probably do some of this. Here's another money maker. We're gonna shut that off because it's still gonna freeze for another 30 seconds. This is a pecan crusted pie crust. We'll fluff her up and make her pretty in a little bit. But these right here took like maybe what, a pint of ice cream in it. Now it's got booze in it. Sell these around the holidays for a good 25, 15, depending on your location. It's got alcohol in it now, remember that. And then these make perfect little lids for it. But we're gonna pull all of this out now. Too much. You would think I'd be a pro at this right by now, right? Oh, I smell that jalapeno. And if you can see how the nuts evenly distributed throughout the entire product, so you don't have to sit there and fold it in by hand. And the other added benefit too is that this ice cream, it's absorbing every single flavor you put in there. So it's not vanilla based and then it's got pecans folded into it. Say that again? Yes. So at 100% overrun, it would give you 5 gallons. Actually, a little more than that because we added inclusion, so that's going to increase your volume. And running at super premium, it's probably going to give you maybe 4 gallons of product coming back out, but probably a little more because of volume. So we're running at a slow setting now. We're at the tail end of our product, so we can speed this up. to 235 and extract some more out of it. If I was going to be making this flavor day in and day out or all day today, I wouldn't worry about us pulling out as much as I can. I just go right to my next flavor and keep going. Also, never do your nuts first. Save your nuts for the very, very, very last batch of the day because of allergens. Nobody's allergic to nuts, and I want to get you all liquored up for the show. Okay, so we'll go ahead and stop it, and we'll scoop it out. This here is that bourbon pecan pie. Okay, we're going to put this like this. This will freeze solid, and it'll cut just like a regular slice of pie. And you have a spicy maple bourbon pecan ice cream pie. Sell it during Christmas time, $20. Put a little bow on it.
So what do you guys think? Yeah. Feel that heat?
Is that the jalapeno or the bourbon? Because I feel that's like bourbon. So.